Hey guys, and welcome to the Point and Click Adventurers. This is a podcast all about adventure games, both old and new. It's hosted by yours truly. My name is Michael, also known as YakWaxLips, and as always, I was with my fellow co-host Turian Shepard. Hello, Turian. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Excited to get back to doing the podcast because we've been a little bit slack towards the end of last
Yes,
year, weren't we? So it'd be
it's
good to
difficult.
get back on do it regularly again, I think. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really excited to delve in. As we record this, it's the 17th of January. So I know that you were poorly over the festive period, and I'm wearing a
Yes.
scarf because it's freezing in here. But yeah, I mean, Christmas is a difficult period to record anyway. But I can't remember the last time we did a podcast. It was probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
I make no apologies about that. You know, we're both busy people, but we both
yeah.
have got a lot going on. So in today's podcast, normally we have like a theme and a guest and stuff, but I think today it's just going to be a general catch up about best games of last year, best games we're looking forward to this year, and what we've been up to. But first,
Yeah,
I must say, we met in person
we
finally.
did. Yeah,
So
we did,
yeah,
which is pretty cool.
for those that don't know, we started this podcast middle of last year, and I reached out to Turian and said, "Hey, I know you love adventure games as much as I do, so do you want to start a podcast?" Never met in person, so we got chatting, and it just kind of happened. But yeah, we both attended the Adventure X conference this year, not this year, last year, and it was awesome. So yeah, it was lovely to meet you, by the way.
It was, yeah, it's good fun. And the pub afterwards as well was a lot of fun as well, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I have memories of a few woozy people. I took myself
Yes.
home at 10:30. But there was still Tom from Lucy Dreaming there. There was still Cress Up and the guys from the Adventure Game Podcast, and I think Dave Gilbert was around as well. So yeah, it was a who's who of adventure game developers and stuff, wasn't it? It was good fun.
It was, yeah, and we were going to do a recap episode, but just never really got around to it, did we? So
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we'll post one randomly in the middle of the year.
could do.
Because that was really annoying for me. I went down there with the pure aim of doing loads of content. I did make a vlog out of it, but everything you see in the vlog is literally every piece of content that I have, and the vlog's like about
Yeah.
3 minutes long. I will in this episode we will slot in the one interview that I did there. Like I said, it's just there's so many people there. It took me an hour when I got there. It took me an hour and a half to get a coffee, and not because of a big queue. It's literally you walk in the door and there's you. I've seen you online, and then hey, there's you. And every
Yeah.
second step, you get stopped or you stop someone to speak, and it was like that the whole weekend. How did you find it like that?
It was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, really nice to see people because obviously with COVID and everything, people hadn't really met up for a long time. I hadn't met anyone previously like in person other than Tom from Lucy Dreaming. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I went with the intention of playing all the demos and getting some footage and stuff. But it's just so many people to talk to that I barely played anything. I got around and played probably 2 or 3 demos and thought, right, I'm gonna on the Sunday I'm gonna get in there and play the demos, and of course didn't because just more people that I hadn't seen before on the Sunday. So yeah, really good fun. The after party was really cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great event actually, really well organized, and yeah, everyone was just really friendly.
Really friendly. Yeah, it was really well done. I urge you, hopefully it will go on this year and every year, thus far. But
Yeah.
I urge you, if you want to go, then yeah, definitely go. 2 reasons. One, because you'll get to meet me and Turian, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But the main reason is that you get to meet everybody else and play all the demos. It was really good fun. It's probably my highlight of the year. It was really good. But yeah, talk about highlights of the year. In fact, let's rewind a little bit first. So we haven't done a podcast for, I mean, I didn't even check the date. It's got to be a couple, 3-4 months now. So in those 3 or 4 months, like, what have you been playing? I know the last time you were doing the Broken Sword and Sam and Max playthroughs, and so and the end of Space Quest. I think you were just about to finish Space Quest. So tell us about your journey over the past couple of months.
Wow. Yeah, I finished Space Quest, the whole thing, got all that done. So there's a couple of fan games, but haven't jumped into those yet. And then I started playing Toonstruck, which is very good.
Yeah,
but absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's wild. It's it's like being on a drug trip or something. Like it's just mental. Not for kids. The art style makes it look like it was for kids. I remember we spoke before, and I said that I really wanted to get it as a kid, and my parents were like, no, you're not having that game. And I couldn't understand why, but now playing it, I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand why I wasn't allowed this one. But yeah, really good fun. It's got obviously Christopher Lloyd in it as the main character. Really well done. It's actually got an unbelievable cast. If you look up who voices all the characters, it's crazy. Crazy good cast. Yeah, unbelievable. So I've been playing that. I finished Lamplight City in that time as well.
Did you get again the good? I mean, I don't know how many endings there are, but how was it the ending for you?
I don't think I got the best ending. I spoke to Francisco Gonzalez, the developer at Adventure X, and he said the ending I got is his personal favorite.
All right.
I don't want to spoil the ending just in case anyone watching is going to play, but I think it's like a good ending, but not the best ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good game. But the endings make it, you can go back and you can do everything wrong, and terrible ending, and it's perfectly okay. So I did that. Nearly finished Broken Sword 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
Which I saw you've started as well.
I've started, yeah.
How are you finding it?
I'm enjoying it more than I thought I was going to. The story itself is really strong. I'm finding it's really quite grasped me. And although there's not necessarily many puzzles in it, it's all a lot of box pushing and jumping and stuff like that. I'm really enjoying it. The controls are a little iffy, but it's nearly 20 years old now, so I'll kind of forgive that. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and the thing I will say is there's a lot of that box pushing, but in the second half of the game, it seems to change a little bit, and there's a lot more creativity with the puzzles.
Yeah.
So I've quite enjoyed that. Actually, I went into it. I saw all the Steam reviews being like, "This is rubbish. This is the worst Broken Sword I've ever played." And I don't think it's actually that bad.
No, I think people go into it like because it's not like the first and second one, because it's not pixel art. Or well, I mean, it's not pixel art, but not hand drawn. It's not classically point and click. I think people dismissed it. And I'm one of those people. Like I dismissed it because it was like around the age when 3D was coming out, and I was like, no, not interested in that. No. But yeah, I'm super glad that I'm playing it. I've no idea. I don't really have a clue like how far or how long the game is. Like I'm on episode. I call them episodes. Mine lasts like 25 minutes, and I'm on episode 9 or 10. In fact, I'm going to record another one after this podcast. So I guess I'm about 2.5, 3 hours in, perhaps.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, probably. Where did you get up to?
I've met spoiler alert, a mini spoiler alert, but I've met Bruno in Glastonbury, and I've just brought him back to Paris. Nico's just been stolen by Cicero. Is that the guy's name? The white guys. And I'm there. So I'm about to go in. I'm about to look around with Bruno and George.
Okay, yeah. So you've still got a fair way to go then. Actually, it seems longer than the first two to me, anyway.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's anywhere near the end. It doesn't feel like. I mean, episode Broken Sword 1 and 2. I don't know how it took me like 20 episodes ish each.
Yeah,
I know I've played them before and all that, but I kind of expecting Broken Sword 3 to be pretty much double that. So still got a way to go.
Yep, and you played Broken Sword 2.5 as well, which I've been watching.
Yeah, that was surprisingly good. It's not the main sticking point is the voice of George. It's not Rolf Saxon. It's another guy, but it's not just that it's another guy. It's the fact that he doesn't do a good job at it. I don't think English is his first language, or at least it's not. There's certainly an accent to it, which is not wholly. I'm not comfortable with. And they do bring back a lot of the older cast. Some are great to see. It's like amazing. One or two are like, hold on, you died, how come you back? And but it's not canon. I have researched it and all that and realized that it's a fan game. But there's a short video that Charles did way back when it came out, and he was asked what does he think of it, and he does say it's actually really good. Definitely worth a play. But it's not canon, but it's worth a play, definitely.
Yeah, it looks very well made actually as well. Sort of watching it, it feels like it doesn't feel like some fan games where you think like, oh god, it's really buggy and it looks awful. It's
Yeah,
actually, aside from some of the voices, it looks very good, and some of the puzzles are quite cool as well, I thought.
yeah. I think there's some really good strong bits in it. I don't think I came across a single bug. But yeah, there's a few puzzles which are a bit iffy, and it's puzzles for puzzle's sake.
Yeah.
But I mean, the general storyline was quite good, quite strong. Yeah, I mean, I I don't think I've really ever played any other fan games. So I'm going to say, I'm going to stick my neck out and say it's the best one I've played, the best fan game I've played. But yeah, it was good. And yeah, like I say, I'm onto Broken Sword 3 now with the plan
Yep.
to go to 4 and 5 as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
What else? Are you still plowing through Sam and Max?
I am, yeah. I finished Save the World, which was season 1 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So starting season 2 tomorrow as we
Nice.
record this. So yeah, it'll probably be up an episode or 2 by the time this goes on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I've heard season 2 is quite good. And well, there is actually some Sam and Max news as well, which we'll probably get onto a bit later, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite a bit of Sam and Max news, actually.
Yes. I mean, just dive into that now. Why don't you?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they announced Sam and Max season 3 is getting a remaster, which I think everyone expected.
Yeah.
But I think it's due out at some point this year. It looks really good. I saw the sort of reveal trailer thing. The visuals look incredible.
Yeah, they do really well. It's the
well
same
done.
people that did the previous remasters,
It
which
is,
have
yeah.
both been really well done. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I haven't played any of the remasters. I played the season 1 when it came out on the Wii, I think, way back when. God, yeah. But yeah, what was there some more Sam and Max news?
There was, yeah. Sam and Max hit the road to getting a limited limited run games release.
They're popping them out quite regularly
They
these
are,
days,
yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like there was hardly anything point and click wise on there. And now all of a sudden, I think they're doing that. They're doing Loom and they're doing Return to Monkey Island, all with sort of big box. So I'm looking at it going, oh, my bank balance.
I know, yeah. They're all like,
these, but they're like $100 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
so
that's too rich for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because they did Grim Fandango Day of the Tentacle, and I just think they saw the response. I think it was when they did the 5 Monkey Island games in the big box.
Yes.
And they saw that the response to that, and maybe they thought, oh, hold on, there's a bit of a gold mine here, and they do seem to be plowing through them. I kind of expect the rest to come out at some point, depending on licensing. But I mean, you've got The Dig to come, which is one of my favorite LucasArts games. You've got the earlier ones, Zack McCracken and Maniac Mansion. Whether they'll do those or not, I don't know. I mean, they're there to be done, depending on licensing and stuff. But is it something that you have picked up or will pick up?
Maybe if they space them out a bit. I mean, I don't have
they're coming
$300 to drop on, video games. So yeah, I mean, if they space them out, I might go. There's some pretty cool loot in there, like the additional stuff they put into the big boxes. Obviously, they're not the original big boxes. They're the same design, I think, but they're not not the same as the proper collector's editions. But I mean, if you're a fan, then it's worth taking a look at. Return to Monkey Island, I feel like I might want to get a physical copy of that.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I'm not one for physical products really, but that really has wet my whistle. Like, maybe I'm not particularly interested in like the big box version. I just kind of want it on the Switch, so just to have a physical copy would be nice. But then saying that, I already have it, so it'll just be sitting on my shelf gathering dust. So I'm trying to be frugal these days. But yeah.
So there's that. Talking of the Switch, actually, Lucy Dreaming is coming out on the Switch, isn't it? I think it's at the end of February.
Yeah, pretty soon. I mean, it's a lot of the last year's successful games. Hobbs Barrow is out at the end of January on the Switch.
Yeah.
I just think it's the perfect console to play, apart from PC. It's the one that I played the most on as well. Because you just, you unhook it and then you just take it with you. For those who do not know what a Switch is, and I expect a couple more will make their way over there. Very, very good work from the guys as well, because creating a game to get it out anyway is hard work. But then I know that talking to Tom Hardwich, who made Lucy Dream, and talked to him at Adventure X and saying that he was absolute, like, there's so many hoops to jump through to get it over to the Switch. But he's obviously done it and it's coming out. So yeah, if you're interested in adventure games but don't particularly want to play them on the PC, then yeah, make sure you get yourself a Switch and get those games, because yeah, Hobbs Barrow was one of my games of the year, which we'll come to that in a minute actually.
We will. Got any more news?
Any more news? No, I've restarted my Trailer Talk show, which will be out asterisk every weekend. I did do it every weekend for months last year, and then I had to stop. So that will be coming out, where I basically talk about news, not reviews, but news and what's coming out. And I did my big anticipated games of the year post video a couple of days ago, which has got 15 upcoming games on. So yeah, I'm really excited about all of those. I won't go through all of them, just watch the video, but we will talk about a couple in a minute. News wise though, no, not really. There is one thing that I've mentioned, I will mention on my future video. Have you seen the LucasArts book that is coming out?
I have not. No.
From Cote Games. Let me just bring it up. Cote Games, is that what it's called? Basically, they're doing a book called, I'm bringing it up. Yeah, it's cotegamers.com. Cote spelled COTE. And it's the LucasArts Chronicles, includes 7 special artworks, and it's basically chronicling LucasArts right from the early days. It does go through all the Star Wars stuff and all that towards the back end, but it includes everything. It's got like official screenshots and stuff, and that comes out in May this year. So that looks awesome. It says here the special edition box is €62. I think you can get the non-special edition one without the art postcards for, I think it was 40 or 50, I don't know. I'll put all the links to all this stuff down below, but that looks pretty cool. I'm excited about that is definitely going on my birthday list. 464 pages, hardcover, all games. So yeah, there you go. Whether it'll be more of an in-depth look, because I do have the other one, it's around somewhere, the Rogue Leaders, the old one that brought out at the start of the 90s, just before LucasArts died, actually. Start 2000, sorry. And as much as it is good, it's a bit light on content. There's some great photos, great pictures. There is, like, tells you about the games and all that, but it doesn't really go that in depth. So I'm hoping this one does, as it contains all of the Star Wars games as well. I'm not sure whether it will do, but yeah, have a look for yourself. It looks good. That came out of nowhere because I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, neither had I, actually. Yeah, it's worth looking into.
Yeah, definitely. And that is kind of the news, I guess. And in terms of what I've been doing on the channel, it's pretty much kind of what you've been doing. I'm playing Broken Sword. My playthrough finished Broken Sword 2, played and finished Broken Sword 2.5, and then started Broken Sword 3, which I am fully enjoying. And apart from restarting my Trailer Talk show this year, like, it just drifted off into the sunset for an early Christmas last year. From bringing out 5 videos a week, it was down to like 2, and at one point I think 1. But again, I'll repeat what I said at the start. I'm not gonna explain and say I need to do this. It's kind of like, you know what, we do this as a part-time thing. So as a hobby, it's not even part-time, it's a hobby. So on that note, on what we've been doing on our channels, I think we should delve in to say what our best games of 2022 were. And I am going to prefix this to say that these are games, or at least some of mine are, that necessarily didn't come out last year, but that we did play last year and enjoy. So I'm going to dive in first, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got 4, but I'll see where it goes. Just my first one is, and I'm going to start with it from the top. The best game of last year, and in my point of view, one of the best games made in the past 10 years, is the excavation of Hobbs Barrow from Cloak and Dagger Games. I could play it 1,000,000 times and love it. Have you played it yet?
I have not. No, I played the demo back when it had its old name. But no, I still haven't. It's on my list. It's one that I want to play soon. As a let's play. But no, I haven't played it yet. I've heard unbelievable things about it. Did it win Adventure Game of the Year?
The
in the
Agati
awards?
Awards that were just released. Yeah, I was one of the judges on it, and I voted it for best game. I
Yeah.
haven't actually seen the results of it, but I think,
Oh, okay.
I think, I think it was. Yeah, I think it came out as best game. I think Monkey Island came out as like their, because I was on the international jury or whatever. But I think
Yeah.
their point of view is Monkey Island was better, but the international jury I think said that Hobbs Barrow was better, and yeah, it's got absolutely everything that I love. Like, go to a basic, like the aesthetic look of it is pixels, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's barren moors, and it has a whole sense of theme and time and place, and it's set up north in Yorkshire, so everything is very Yorkshire-ish. Yorkshire-ish. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, I think
Yorkshirean
that's
people tell me. um, and the general story is great. That's one that's coming to Switch that I said earlier on.
yeah.
So that was definitely number one on the list. And yeah, I did a review, so I'll pop a link somewhere else so you can see a spoiler-free review. But that was number one. I'm going to pass the torch to you now and see what game you have added to your list.
So I've got, like you said as well, some that didn't come out last year, but that I played last year. But I've set a bit of a criteria that I had to have completed the whole game, because there are some games I've got part way through from last year but didn't finish yet. So I don't want to return to Monkey Island being one of them. I haven't finished it yet, so yeah. I don't want to say, oh yeah, because I haven't finised it.
Yeah.
But as in games that came out last year, Nightmare Frames. Did you play that one?
I haven't, no, but I again, it's in my library already, ready to play.
Very, very good pixel art, very good story, gripping. It's in that sort of horror-ish genre or thriller genre. Well worth a play.
I think just on that note, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say the developer, but I've forgotten the developer's name. Is it Adventure?
Postmodern Adventures.
Postmodern Adventure, yeah. They've just announced a new game.
Yes, so, they have.
That looks awesome.
Set in Victorian England, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. But Nightmare Frames looks, again, I think it was up for one of the awards on the Agati Awards. Yeah. I played the demo of it. It was brilliant. And I don't know why I haven't played the full game. Too many games.
Sometimes it's time, it's time. And that's one thing actually that I want to do more of this year, is play a few more current games, because I've realized I play a lot of old games and indie games from maybe 3-5 years ago, but not a lot of brand new games.
Yeah.
So I need to do more on that. Intruder in Antiquonia was one that I actually really enjoyed as well. We spoke about that a bit before, by Aruma Studios. It's quite on the easy side in terms of puzzles, but yeah, really cool story. One of those mystery games we've got to uncover the identity of the character and their, the backstory and things like that. So they've actually announced that they're working on a new game as well.
Oh, really? I've missed that one. Brilliant.
Yeah, so I think it's been on their mailing list. If you're on there, been giving little updates, just teasers about the story and things like that. So not sure if that's going to be out this year or whatever it is, but they've started working on something that they said is going to be more complex this time, slightly more difficult puzzles with more layers to them. So that should be interesting as well. So Intruder in Antiquonia was on that list. And Lamplight City, which we spoke about earlier, not from last year, but very, very good game. Again, pixel art. A bit of a theme. But yeah, just a unbelievable story, keeps you guessing. I love those detective adventure games. That's like my thing, really. Any more that you've got on there?
I've got I went through what I played last year, and it wasn't that many. It was just scratching double figures. I think it was maybe 10 or 11. But I'll mention the other couple here that I've got that I think are my favorite games. One is two came out last year, Hobbs Barrow being the third, and then there's one that came out the back end of the previous year. But the ones that came out last year are my second best game of the year was Crowns and Pawns, Kingdom of Deceit. I think I've mentioned that previously on the channel. It's a very Broken Sword inspired globe-trotting adventure where you play as Milda, who travels back to her hometown of Lithuania because she's been given a house. Her uncle has passed away, and so she's been given this house, so she has to travel all the way over there. But when she gets there, the house has been ransacked, and there's a mystery phone call and she gets embroiled in this ancient mystery involving religion and the surrounding areas. And yeah, it was really good. This puzzles were very good. Very good puzzle design, and the way it looks is good. And it kind of leaves it open for a sequel. The game in itself is complete. It doesn't leave any, like, the mystery is kind of solved, but then she kind of walks off into the distance going, oh, now what's my next kind of thing. And so I did speak to very, very briefly the developer, who, side note, is also the developer of Broken Sword 2.5. I spoke to him at Adventure X, just mentioned, is there going to be a sequel? Because it looks cool. I'm hoping there is. And he says, well, he's working on something. It might not be a sequel. He was keeping his cards close to his chest, and basically said nothing, but they're working on a new game. So that was one of my games of the year. I think, now I'm not 100% sure, but I think that this is out or about to be released on Switch as well. I'll double check that. If it is, I'll leave the link down below in the description and whatnot. And then my third favorite game of the year is, and I have to say this beforehand, I only played this because of my role on Acorn Games, and I started to work on Ghost on the Shore. Now this is a game that I had seen before. It had been out a little while, a couple of months. It looks good. It looked a little bit like a walking simulator, which I don't like that word, that term, because it sounds really derogatory. But basically an exploration game where you go out and you find things, and there's no real puzzles in it. It's more about the experience. So as much as I like those kind of games, I wasn't going to go out and on my way to do it. But then this game came across my path, and I was like, okay, in my role as Acorn Games, I've got to play it. And I ended up playing it 2.5 times. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the world, fell in love with the story. And it is a choices matter thing. So you say one thing means it goes one way, you say something else, it goes another. The story is you are a woman, and she's bought a boat, and she's out in the middle of the sea, because I can't remember exactly why. I think she's like really angry with life, and just like she wants to get away from stuff. And then she accidentally crashes on this island, and then on this island, suddenly in her head is an Irish guy talking to her. It's a ghost in her head. She can't see him, and basically you walk through, and it's a derelict island, and it's abandoned, and it's really creepy. Every now and again, a ghost pops up just out of nowhere, not in like a jump scare thing, but you just see them in the distance, and the closer you get to them, you hear their story. Sometimes the story, depending on which point of view you're looking at it, it might seem positive, it might seem negative. And that's why I've played it 2.5 times, because every time you go in thinking, well, hold on, he said this, but this is happening. And yeah, it's really, really good. That was Ghost on the Shore, from Like Charlie. So those are my 3 games from last year. And just the one game before, which came out the back end of 2021, was Cleo, A Pirate's Adventure. So this was a big hit, actually. Like smashed it across the board at the awards, I think, last year. Really, really well. You play as a young girl who's accidentally got washed up on an island, several islands, and she is after a certain treasure. And that's kind of it plot wise. It sounds very generic, but the story and the way it's made is really, really, really strong. So I urge you to go out and play that. I urge you to go out and play all 4 of them, because all 4 were brilliant. Cleo, Hobbs Barrow, Crowns and Pawns, and Ghost on the Shore. Really super games. And yeah, I could wax lyrical about so many more that I played. Like played Voodoo Detective, that was ace as well.
Very good.
So yeah, those are my games that I played last year.
Some good choices in there. Lots of people to go and look up, actually.
I think I was going to say they're all debut games, but Cleo was a debut game, and I think Crowns and Pawns was a debut game. Ghost on the Shore was a debut full game. They did have a game which you could play for free, actually, called Marie's Room, which is a 1-room kind of detective thing where you look in things and trying to figure out what's gone on in the room. And then Hobbs Barrow, obviously, those guys have had a couple of games out. But yeah, really strong year.
Yeah, it looks like this year is going to be quite a strong year as well. I know a lot hasn't been announced yet, but some pretty good ones coming up, I think.
Have you got like favorites that are on the horizon this year?
I've got a couple, yeah. Rosewater, I believe, is probably going to come out this year. So that looks really good. I played the demo for that actually not that long ago, and it was really good. So it's sort of set in the same universe as Lamplight City, isn't it? There's a link between one of the main character in Rosewater and one of the characters in Lamplight City.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a really good like Western adventure. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Any others you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so that one's really high on my wish list as well. And one that I'm looking forward to is called Slender Threads.
Yes.
Which is from Blitz. And it's about a guy who he's a failed writer and he's just in a mystery town trying to write the next novel. And then mystery happens.
Yeah,
it's I played the demo a couple of years ago now, actually. That was really good. That's penciled in for this year. So Slender Threads and the one you just said as well, Rosewater, and a couple more that I'll just mention now. One which was actually penciled in for like 2 years ago, but games get pushed back and pushed back, and it's The Night is Grey.
Yes.
And this was one of my favorite demos of the past couple of years. I'm not sure if you can still play the demo or not. But yeah, the game is you're a guy, middle-aged guy who's in the woods, and he comes across a girl, a young girl who's there. We don't know why she's there. And then you kind of have to get out of the woods. Again, it sounds trite in a very elevator pitch way, but the way that the puzzles worked was really, really intriguing. It's got point and click stuff in it, but then it's got a few other different types of puzzles. And what I liked most about this when I played the demo, again, a couple of years back now, is the atmosphere it has. Like it's got really subtle music, which is quite ominous. So I was kind of always feeling on edge.
Yeah, even though there's not a lot that feels dangerous, there's that sort of underlying feeling that something is going to come out and get you. But
yeah, exactly. It's like creepy cabin in the woods, basically. That's what it is. So hopefully that will come out this year. And then the other final one that I just want to give a quick mention to, if you want to know about any more of these, like I said, I did a massive video a couple of days ago. I'll link that down below. Is Foolish Mortals.
Yes.
And that just looks awesome. Whether it's due out this year, I don't know. There's still got a bit of work to do. Have you played that demo at all?
I played the demo. Yeah, it was very, very, very good. Yeah, definitely up there as one of the highlights. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was out this year, so I didn't put it on my list because I think the Kickstarter was only the back end of last year, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Just before Adventure X, actually, I seem to remember. So yeah, I don't know whether it will be this year, but yeah, that first act, which was like the demo, was very, very impressive.
Yeah, really good. Whether it'll come out this year or not, I don't know. Like you say, it's a lot of work to do. But definitely go and wishlist that. And so Slender Threads, Night's Grey, Foolish Mortals, and Colossal Cave. That's the one that I'm playing at the minute. So yeah, those are the ones that that I'm really, really super excited about. Any more to add to your list at all?
No, I think you covered most of the ones that I had on my list as well. So it's
Sorry
quite
about
convenient,
that.
actually. No, that's fine. No, works out nicely.
Right now, like I said at the start of this podcast, we do normally have guests on, but because it's the start of the year, we haven't. So moving into the future, we'll have loads and loads of guests on. So if you are an adventure game developer or a voice artist or an artist or just maybe even just a massive fan, then get in contact with us via email. You can contact me at what's my email? YakWaxLips@gmail.com. And we'll see what we can do. But what I did do is when I went to Adventure X, I took my phone to record all the interviews I possibly could. And I came back with one interview because it was that busy. But it was a fun little short interview. This is a interview with Lee Williams, who is one of the lead developers on the game Cryptmaster. So let's just delve into this teeny tiny interview. So I'm here at Adventure X22 and I've just played Cryptmaster. I'm here with the developer, Lee. Tell me about Cryptmaster.
Hello. Well, it's a nostalgic dungeon crawler. We're calling it. Trying not to use the word typing too much, even though there is a lot of typing involved. But then people seem to think it's kind of Mavis Beacon in approach, which it isn't. The idea is that you can type any words you want to interact with the game. Obviously, there are limits to that, but in general, we want to make the gameplay as open as possible. So everything is word-based. You type words to talk to all the NPCs, to fight using your skills in combat, to guess at objects in the game. So it's all driven through the keyboard or through voice support. We're not able to show the voice support off today, unfortunately, because of the environment.
So yeah, I've just, like I say, I've just finished it, and I've not played anything like it. Like to basically to look at something, you're in a dungeon, you've been brought there, you're not dead, but you are dead, and you kind of basically have to go around and go through chests and basically collect letters, essentially, to level up, I guess. So every, for example, I collected the letters HIT, which I would spell hit, so that means that I could hit something. And it's really unique. It's beautifully black and white 3D environment. So where's your influence come from for all this kind of stuff?
Oh well, I guess for the look. I mean, we wanted the look ideally to kind of suggest game books, the old Fighting Fantasy game books, that sort of thing, and old D&D manuals. So we're kind of looking at a sort of 80s, I guess, nostalgia appeal with some of the art.
This is the first time you've had it out in the public, and I say you've absolutely nailed it.
Thank you very much. It was really nice to hear.
It was really good. I mean, I've just finished. It took me about 20 to 30 minutes to play the demo, and it's scratching the surface. Like, there's a lot of content that's going to be in this.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the word mechanic is really nice. It's really flexible, because we found, especially later in the game, the tricky part is actually the early stages of the game, introducing people to how it works. Later on, we're able to do things like you'll find enemies with shields with a certain letter on, and so they block any word with that letter in it. There are mirror demons later. You've got to type everything backwards with them, and so things like. So there are a lot of different ways actually later on that we can play with the letters and the word approach.
That sounds fascinating. Well, good luck with it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for playing.
So yeah, Cryptmaster was a really good, fun game that I played at Adventure X. Did you get round to playing it?
I didn't actually play it. I watched some people play it from a distance. But yeah, as I said, we were so busy at Adventure X, I just didn't get a chance to play as many demos as I would like to. But from what I saw, it looked really cool. Different. It's not your typical sort of point and click adventure game, which is something that I'm quite guilty of when it comes to adventure games. I tend to go for point and click stuff, but there's a lot of good stuff going on in little niches in the adventure game world. And I think this is something actually which is quite interesting. I liked some of the things that you were saying on that interview about like it all being text-based and sort of having that the voice control support coming in later on a little bit.
Yeah, it was really good fun. It was the first demo I played when I was there, and I literally just jumped on the first chair that was free, not knowing what it was. I was like, oh yeah, come play this. And yeah, it was so fun. It was so tongue-in-cheek. It really reminded me of the old school Fighting Fantasy books with Choose Your Own Adventure, and that real humor to it. And yeah, it was definitely interesting. And I'm not actually sure when that's coming out. The Steam page says coming soon, and it was in development. So but yeah, again, we'll keep you updated with that one. And thanks very much to Lee for that teeny tiny interview. And I do apologize that I have no more content from Adventure X, but Adventure X 2023, I plan to just have hours of content, but that's months away yet. Right, and on that note then, I will bid you adieu and say, Turian, it was wonderful to see you and wonderful to meet you at Adventure X.
Yes, likewise. It's nice to be back doing this again. Said it's been a couple of months, so in 2 weeks we will be back with another one. We're going to be consistent. 2023, we're going to be consistent with it.
Yeah, that's the buzzword of the year. Definitely consistency. I'm already back with my videos. I've seen that you're back after your Christmas off. One thing that I will be doing, because I know I get this asked quite a lot, and I know you do, is we'll be putting this podcast on on something other than YouTube, so you can listen to it on your drive, on your commute, or on your run, or wherever you do when you listen to podcasts. So thanks everyone. Have a wonderful I'm going to finish the way I normally do. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. It's just natural, whatever it is you're doing. Take care, guys.
See you later.